Yes, indeed. It's the late night bar, and the drinks are on the house. The trouble I go to for our American cousins. I bet you're surprised to see me at this ungodly hour. Yeah, I actually overslept, so this is the beginning of my day, and I can't sleep, so here I am, rejoicing in my insomnia. Although I don't know if it counts as insomnia when you've slept right through the night. See, that's what I thought, Jenny, right? Yeah, it's kind of cool to mix it up and come on at all sorts of hours. Francesca is upside down and can relate. Hey, Missy. Hell to the nose here. How are you, Heather? And Cheryl has been able to catch a live. Oh, did you, Jenny? Yeah, I'm one of these ones that I actually am a bit of an insomniac. Um, but usually once I do fall asleep, I can sleep through a tsunami. Hey, Green Eyes, Sweet Irish. Hey, Jennifer. Yeah, Jolie, I've always been a night owl. A habit of a lifetime. And what's cool as well is you can always get a few people to turn up that can't normally make the lives. So everyone's happy. That's a theory. Don't you wish they would fix that, Cheryl, so that you can tag on your phone on Google, on YouTube? I mean, how hard is that to sort? I guess the machine is out of control and almost impossible to amend. Yeah, you literally cannot tag on your phone, can you? You have to just write out the whole name. Melatonin is life-changing. Straight to sleep, but I didn't take it last night. I enjoy a late one. Potter around. Fix your shit, YouTube. Okay, I'm gonna be quickly responding to something that came from BBT that I heard the other day. I don't really have a lot to say on it, but I'll be doing that in a bit. What have I been up to, Rabid? All sorts, London. I've been meaning to oh, see, I didn't realise, Suzanne, that it was Gray Hughes that you were referring to, because I have watched a lot of his stuff on Delphi. I've just not seen a lot of his most recent stuff, but I'm definitely gonna check that out. There's a few there's a few trials that um we need to happen next year. Delphi, Koberger, and Sarah Boone. Those need to happen. Or even I'm gonna give up on Sarah. Welsh lady is here. Bridget. He did the Richard Allen timeline. Yeah, I've seen him do that a few times. I don't think you can argue. Well, you can argue, but I think it's barring an unbelievable coincidence and Richard Allen being the unluckiest guy in town. He is the guy in the bridge in the video. London says Sarah Boone is the female Darrell Brooks. I can see why you say that. I can. Sarah Boone has little princess syndrome, but as I've said ad nauseum, she is not guilty of second-degree murder. Don't let Cheryl convince you. Second degree. Well, it'll all come out in the wash. Hopefully. Well, you see, Ivy, it's cool to be late. It's fashionable. Hell to the no, says Mer probably has. Oh, Sarah has a bulldog attorney. I presume you mean just like old Merb over there. Two peas in a pod, those two. London says, I can't even fit my 10-year-old grandson in my suitcase. How in the heck did Sarah get that man folded up like a taco in that suitcase? Well, he was extremely thin and small. Rosebud is here. Cinderella is here. Yeah, I just started, Ivy. So who has their 2024 resolutions sorted? I know I have. I have big plans for 2024, people. Big plans. Rabid's going to be smashing it. I've had a few years of my winter of discontent. Bridget says, don't do resolutions, always break them. Oh, it was good to see Diane back, wasn't it? Who's seen Diane live? Was it yesterday or the day before? That was awesome to see her back. But you know what's so um goddamn annoying? She was barely like Diane's not been live in practically a year, and within an hour she was getting trolled over shit. People need to get over that shit. She has spoken about it. She has explained her side of things. Let it fucking go. Yeah, there wasn't really any drama, really, though, Ivy. It's just fucking annoying. You know, people just holding grudges for that long. Get a fucking life. Oh, tell me, Rosebud. See, the thing is with that case, so Rosebud's talking about the eye drop case. The woman that is now officially guilty of murdering a woman, an older woman that she was caring for. Now, I was working through the trial, and then I was working on transcribing one of the police interviews, which I've not got around to yet. So I've consciously not watched the rest of the trial because I want to cover it all over a few videos. So I obviously know she was found guilty, but I don't know anything about the sentencing fiasco. Do you want to put it in here? I know her mother walked out court, right? Just after she was, right after the verdict. 5 minutes after. That was quite telling. For sure, Jennifer. Welsh talking about Sarah Boone. She comes across as very, do you mean meek or mental? She comes across as very mental, but her verbiage and her letters to the judge are very coherent and intelligent. Yeah, she's a smart woman for sure. She's articulate. She's witty, clever, but she's also she certainly was an alcoholic, and the word that everyone hates to hear, a hell of a narcissist. Green Eyes, I was just watching a video about the letter she wrote and her attorney quitting tomorrow. Oh, the eye drop case, okay. So has she not been sentenced yet? I thought she had been. So many lawyers backing out of cases. Yeah, well, Sarah's on about her eighth attorney now, I think. So Rosebud says the lawyers have requested to withdraw due to a penned letter done during the trial as her last-ditch alibi. She asked a friend to make a recording being the victim, saying she was going to off herself. Wow. Yeah, yeah. Just like the Delphi, right? Although they're not voluntarily backing out. What's interesting about the eye drop case is what we see so often in some of these true crime cases. How many times you find individuals that are not actual monsters, but through the compulsions of an acute addiction can become capable of the most horrendous actions, even to people that are close to them and they probably care about. Well, that's interesting. Rosebud says, and in the letter, she also told the friend to record saying that the victim even killed her own mother by poisoning as well with eye drops. Shoo. Well, we did have snow earlier in the week, or was it last week? Do you guys have snow down there? Not yet. Well, I'm sure you'll have it soon. Okay, the sentencing's tomorrow. Yeah, Judge Doro, she was the one that presided over the Darrell Brooks case, right? Hey, Brennan. Hey, Tonic, how are you? Do you know, I still haven't seen enough of that trial with Darrell Brooks. And I know it's supposed to be unbelievable viewing. But certainly the clips I seen, he was putting that judge through hell. And obviously the victims' families. He is a hell of a messed up individual. Was he also trying to use the sovereign citizen bullshit? I think he was, right? Infuriating, right? Yeah, trying to do the sovereign citizen thing. I thought that. Hey, Tonic. All right, why did I mention BBT? If there's anyone in here that doesn't know all the history between myself and BBT, if you put a two, just out of interest. Thanks, Suzanne. Unbelievable, Ivy. And to have to sit there in court and watch him acting the way he was when they were reading out their impact statements. I don't know if I could control myself in court. Okay, a few twos. Okay, so I used to be on BBT's channel a lot back, I don't know, about a year ago now. And it was during the time she was covering MRB, but she never stopped. And I tried to give her some advice in private, but she wasn't interested. Now, she will give people the narrative that Rabid tried to demand that she stops covering MRB. Does anyone that knows me really think that's true? I just did not think she was helping herself. And I don't think someone with her best intentions should ignore that, right? And that caused the fallout, essentially. And I'm friends with Natasha, right? So BBT has now is now goes after Natasha constantly. But BBT, I don't want to go into too many details because I'm sick of talking about some of these details, right? But the upshot is that she was away for a while, then she came back, and this is what's so fucking bizarre. I Her name came up on Natasha's panel because Dorothy mentioned her. It's the only reason Natasha and I spoke about BBT. And I actually complimented her, told her that I do wish the best for her. And because Dorothy was the topic of conversation and BBT was mentioned and people know about the history, I made the contrast between BBT and Dorothy to make the point. It was a compliment, but she contorted that somehow in her mind and then just started going off, mostly about Natasha, but about me as well. And then recently I suggested she come on my panel and take a link. And then, well, let me just play this, guys, because this is her from yesterday, I think. And I have to tell you, I have no fucking idea what she's talking about here, okay? So bear that in mind. I'm just going to play a few minutes of this. If I take my screen off. Um, and I want some of you guys to put yourself in my position here, right? Because this is all just complete gobbledygook to me. And this is the problem. You get everything wrong. Why is there no sound?
Okay.
Yeah.
I never will learn.
Well, you learn.
I
but
trust
you
people. I want to believe that, like,
you learn
I
things.
try to convince people to like to think differently. It's never gonna work. Like, I just it's so irritating when like people won't like won't like.
So what I should say is BBT emailed me a few days ago asking me to go on her channel to have a resolution. And I told her, I'm not going on your channel, but you're welcome to come on my channel. And I have my reasons for that I think should be pretty goddamn obvious to you, BBT. But this is yesterday, a day or two after these emails.
I don't know. It's like when it seems so obvious. Like,
Yes.
so, um, so as you guys know, Rabid. I don't know why I do know he's good. I knew he would tell people, but I didn't think he would do it that fast. So.
All right.
Anyway, so
start from
so
the
you
beginning.
know how Rabbit has always been like, take a link, PVG, take a link, PVG, take a link. Well, I actually was gonna take one on it last time, and then Held to No went up there, and I just didn't. So whatever. So then I offered him a link, and he didn't. Whatever. So then it was, I don't know what day it was. What we were.
BBT, I have no fucking idea what you're talking about. I've not told anyone on YouTube about the goddamn emails. So can you please tell me where you're getting this from? I'd love to know. I have maybe 2 or 3 people that are close to me through YouTube that I speak to. So you need to tell me where you're getting that shit from, cause it didn't happen.
We were doing something. I think I was making a video, and anyway, so I emailed him like quickly, and I said, if you want to come on, I said nobody knows who I am over there, because Debbie and I heard somebody over there say, we don't even know who BBT is. Like, and they did and he even said out loud, he said, BBT, most of you guys don't even know who BBT is, blah blah blah, right? And he didn't say anything really up beyond that. So I said, you can come on my panel. I said all that. I said it would be stupid for me to go on your panel if nobody knows me over there. Like, what, like,
Right.
and you're the one that wants to do this, so that's a
I'm the one that wants to do this. When I asked you to take a link on my panel, BBT, okay, it's cause you seem confused, and it might be the best option to explain shit to you, right? From my point of view. Other than that, I don't give a shit. If you want to come on the panel, fine. But I'm not going on yours, and that's just the way it is. And I have my reasons for that. If you want to talk about it, then I'll tell you. But it should be obvious. Otherwise, I suggest you just move the fuck on. Don't talk about me, and I won't respond, alright?
compromise. Like, you can come on mine. At least they, whatever. You can stream it, do whatever, right? So then he wrote back and said, I wrote other things, but he wrote back and said he would only do it on his panel, which is so stupid. So then I'm like, so then it is about views. Obviously, it's not about mine.
So BBT is trying to say it's about views for me. BBT, lean in. I don't need you for views. I lost respect for you due to the way you acted when I was last on your channel. And with some of the things that you've insinuated, right? Multiple times. So I'm not going on your fucking channel.
Money for him, obviously, but it's about views. So, and attention, I guess, whatever. But because what?
Maybe some approval.
Yeah, maybe, I guess. But and I said there's no need to like air this. I'm not going to say, oh, I tried, he didn't do it. But then he has to tell people. So I've already gotten.
Right, so you're going to have to come and tell me, BBT, where you got that from, because someone is either got some hacking skills or you're confused about something. I don't know. But that's all there really is to say about it, BBT. So you do your thing, okay? Let's just forget about it. I know, Brianna. I know. Well, that's the thing, Rosewood. BBT, why, when I talk to you, I'm going to have to give some details, right? That I don't, of what is part of the problem between you and I. And it's things I don't really get excited about publicizing again, okay? That's not good for me. So go figure. Blanche, is there a way to confirm if Merv has retained a lawyer? Her calm demeanor is kinda disturbing. Uh, Heather says there hasn't been any paperwork entered on the website as of today, but time is running out, so I'm sure they will by the end of the week. Hmm. Is there a comment held? Let me have a look. I don't see one, guys. So yeah, there's the link again, just in case you're there. Otherwise, let's just go our separate ways, BBT, because trying to rationalize with you is like trying to rationalize with a bowl of spaghetti bolognese. Sorry. Oh, okay, Cheryl. Cool. It's usually you cussing. Hey, Larney. Did you have spaghetti bolognese, London? How apropos. Oh, I forgot to pin the link. The link's there. The link's there for anyone, guys. If anyone wants to come up. Yeah, can you imagine how horrible it is behind the scenes over there at Merbs? To be a fly on the wall.
I'm such a knowledgeable expert on it.
Just for old time's sake. I think, is she not live right now, Jennifer? Doing true crime? I can't criticize anyone regarding true crime lately. Let's be fair. What's her lawyer fund up to? 7,000, I think. Heather just spit out her drink. Well, there's more.
It's just the victimology. A man?
Mean? We're good, Merv. Just, just, uh, just messing about. Suzanne, I have a problem with the coroner finding how Stephen Smith died. Yes, the Murdo case. Yeah, that's very suspicious with the son. A man? Was that a bit too loud, Brianna? I can never tell what the volume's like on StreamYard. Natasha's in the house. Yeah, I surprised myself, Natasha. I actually overslept, and I'm now in tomorrow. So here I am. Oh, her tone scares you, got you. Okay, just one more.
Oh, Sarah Boone. Oh, I can't wait for that case. I'm such a knowledgeable expert on it. It's just the victimology. Just doing the victimology. That's all it is. Echo chamber.
That's me, guys. I need to get some new sound bites. Next year, guys. As I say, 2024, I'm gonna kill it on here. Well, so what's your take on the Idaho 4? Do you think BK did it? I don't have a strong opinion on it, really, at this stage. I've not really done a deep dive on that one, but but that's gonna be either way, Brian Kohlberger is a strange guy. It's a good question, Natasha. Yeah, auditioning for a porno. The thing that's strange about the Idaho case is when you take into mind the timestamp from when one of the girls was on, was it TikTok? To when the car, the vehicle that is apparently his being spotted. So that bracket of time is very short for someone that just killed 4 people in such a gruesome way, and for there to be such a lack of blood evidence. I mean, I think he would have to have very quickly changed his clothes and perhaps footwear. Sorry, Cheryl. Sorry. The James Bond one. Yeah, a lot of people think that, Natasha, that he didn't act alone. It was one of the first things he said, apparently, when he was arrested, is, has anyone else been arrested? Brennan thinks he did it just alone. Oh, that he did it just not alone, sorry. Launch what? Rats? What's going on? Oh, the rats at Kensington Station. Yeah, Natasha was showing some CCTV of is it in Pennsylvania? Trying to remember. Um, Somewhere there where there's a bunch of homeless junkies, I guess, congregating near a train station, and there's some bizarre new drug concoction that has hit the streets over there, which seems to turn them into zombies. Oh, you've named the rats? Yeah, because there was rats running around the place on the camera. It was Philadelphia. Yeah, that was it. Are you feeling any better yet, Natasha? I know a few people have had the flu real hard this winter. Listen, it's a combination of two drugs though, isn't it? It's fentanyl and something else, where the toxins can't be diluted through their body and it comes out of their skin. It's horrendous. Oh hey, Darzan. Good morning to you. You're back tomorrow night. Okay. Yeah, I heard something about some drama regarding someone with cancer on YouTube, apparently. I don't know. I don't know the who it is. I don't know the creator and who's involved in it. Another one, right? Hey, Wiccan. Good morning. How are you? Francesca, I've missed you, Tasha. Yeah, Cheryl. I'm trying to think who it is. Someone called Alicia. Used to be Science Girl, maybe? Uh, Brianna, horse tranquilizers and crocodile or something that eats skin. Yeah. And what's bizarre is when these guys shoot up and are going through their drug bliss, they literally turn into statues bent over, and they can be in the middle of the street, not moving. Good to hear, Wiccan. Welsh lady, oh my god, we had a drug here and it's unbelievable. They actually stand up but frozen and yeah, that's exactly what happens with these guys. Now there's a good idea, Suzanne. Put a bounty on the rats. Money to be made. Oh, I give up with BBT, Rosebud. I give up. She's very hard to deal with. Sandarella, yes, Science Girl, and probably Perplexed. Okay, Laura. Yeah, see, that's a whole side of YouTube that I'm just pretty much ignorant of, so I don't know much about it. London does that without taking drugs. It's called arthritis. Arthritis is horrible. Hey, sweet Irish. Oh, yeah, and there's not really a lot you can do for arthritis, is there? Larney, so there's Natasha was showing some CCTV of some junkies hanging out in Philadelphia that are on this particular drug. And I mean, there's like dozens of them. And it feels like the, the town or the city are just leaving them to it. So they're all over outside this train station, and then you see rats um going back and forth. Are they live every night? Well, there's a live feed. I think someone's hacked into this live feed somehow. But apparently, there's times where the rats are, crawling over crawling over them when they're lying there, sleeping. Oh yeah, Darzan, tell me about it. But she was putting out there that I have told people on YouTube about the email. It's just, I know that's bullshit. So I had to address that. I lived near a river and the river rats were as big as small dogs. Wait a minute. I don't want a Philly cheesesteak. No, no, no. Sanderella, long story short, Alicia has breast cancer, and within weeks, Laura came out with the same diagnosis. Laura has been talking crap about Alicia being weak, etc. Laura just needs to zip it. Sheesh. THC cream. It's not working for you though. Natasha, BBT emailed me, and I'm only saying this here because of what she said yesterday. Um, After she reacted that time over nothing, I asked her to take a link on my panel. So she emailed me a few days ago, wanting me to go on her channel, and I'm just not doing that. Sorry. But then, so I suggested, I'm prepared to talk to you, but not on your channel. And then weirdly, she was saying yesterday that Rabid is telling people on YouTube about her emails. And I can fucking guarantee you that's not possible. But the upshot is just do your thing, BBT, and I'll do mine. She must be working up to your email, Natasha. But I meant exactly what I said on Natasha's panel. I think at heart she's a good egg, and I wish her the best. That's it. Full stop. But if you wanna um resolve anything, then I'm here. Otherwise, do your thing. Oh, has she? Yeah. Yeah, she's not gonna let that go for a while. Emmanuel. I know a great guitar player called Emmanuel something that rings a bell. But R&B, not sure. Oh, her chat loves me too. Yeah, I've got a couple of real fans in there. And she says she can't come on my channel because no one here knows who she is, or everyone in here hates her. And like I said to her, I can guarantee you if you come on my panel, I will ask the chat to be respectful, and I'm sure they would be. And if anyone needs it for the views, BBT, I don't think it's me. Look him up sometime. He's got a new song out called Lonesome Man. It's really good. Cool. I'll take a note of that. Hey, Fern. I'm surprised there's so many people in here at this late hour. It's kind of cool. Right, right, Suzanne. No one will be able to comment negatively if she goes up. Respect. People can be critical and give their opinions, but they would be respectful. BBT, Fern. Hold the bus. Helen is here. You surprised to see me here, Helen? I've always been a night owl. Natasha says me too about being respectful, right? Helen says I'm very surprised. It's like I've woken up in an alternate universe, right? It's like I was saying to Cheryl and the guys. I actually overslept, and this is the start of my day. It's not like me, is it? It's telling someone to fuck off disrespectful, asking for a friend. Let's just say it's assertive. Larney got a notification and was like, "What the fuck?" It's half 6 a.m. Natasha. Yeah, I slept. I slept too early is a problem, Jennifer. You're welcome, Helen. Right, as long as you say please, fuck off. It's 1:30 where you are. Half 12 for some of you guys, 6 hours behind. I said this the other day. Do we really need time zones anymore? Serious question. I don't think we do in the modern age. And it's 9:30 where Cheryl is. Everyone's got their time down here. Laurie. Hey, Rabbit, coming in late. Question: happened? What happens if Merv doesn't respond by the deadline? Will she not default? unless there's an extremely good reason. Oh, do you? Yeah, I need to get my finger out on content. We're goddamn talking about the times for everyone. I don't know. I think just with it being December and Christmas coming up, it's hard to motivate yourself sometimes. I kind of think I'm just subconsciously putting things off till next year. 5 o'clock somewhere. Lorna. Oh, really? Is it recent, Natasha? We're on the same time zone, Welsh. It was you that was talking about Velisco, Welsh, right? Or the still in the back of my mind to maybe see if that author would like to come on again in the school pickup line. Wisconsin. Wasn't he, Cheryl? Yeah, he was great. He literally knows more about that case than anyone. Heather's getting hungry. Ah, you have your true crime
I don't
avatar.
I don't know where the hell that came from.
Streamer does that sometimes.
Um, Legit, I've never seen that before.
You've been hacked.
What in the hell? I'm on my phone, so I'm trying so desperately to see it, but it's too little, and I'm blind. It's dark, and I'm blind.
Well,
Well, shit, I
well,
don't
your
know what I'm
name's
doing.
there.
Okay,
Your
well,
name's there, so it's cool.
guess it's mine, but I don't recall seeing it. No recollection, but whatever.
Hmm.
Um, I had to come up here and tell you about this. So, in the midst of the Kensington stuff, and
Oh yeah.
oh my lord, um, crazy. This woman, I can't see chat, so I don't know what's happening. Um, which is really bothering me.
Oh, the women, the drunk women, you mean?
Yeah, I'm just talking about I can't see the chat and it's bothering me.
Ah, okay.
I'm so used to seeing it. like watching the chat. It's weird to not see it. Anyhow, um, so this lady is in the school pickup line to pick up her children, and
Mm.
she is drunk as Cooter Brown. And the only reason that the way that they caught her is she ran up on the curb when she was coming around, and then they walked over to the door, one of the school resource officers, to make sure she was okay, and they smelled alcohol. Well, come to find out, she is in the process of a really, really bad divorce. Her husband also works for the sheriff's department, and she is an attorney
Hmm.
for the district attorney's office.
Wow.
And so they get her pulled over, and she's flipping out, telling the deputy, "Don't do this, don't do this. He's going to drive by, and if he sees me, I'm going to lose my kids." Blah 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 blah. And so they're making her do the sobriety tests. It is awful. And
Wow.
she keeps trying to walk off from them because
Hmm.
she's afraid somebody's going to drive by on the highway and see her.
Hmm. Was she doing this whole thing about I'm going to have your job,
She didn't.
Mister?
No, she didn't say that, but she just kept calling him by first name and saying, "Please don't do this to me. Please don't do this to me." And I'm sitting here thinking, "You did this shit to yourself. Nobody did it to you."
Hmm. Is this
They
a
all.
recent thing or this was a while ago?
Yeah, it's recent.
Right.
It's, it was crazy, but I've got several new ones of the drunk persuasion that I found.
There
Um,
is there are so many. It's like a rabbit hole out there on YouTube, you
there
know, once
there
you start
is
looking at them.
yes, there is no shortage of drunk people doing sobriety tests,
Hmm.
and it is hilarious.
Brianna says she's been watching the Karen versus the police compilations on YouTube.
Oh, yep, we watched a few of those. Um, Karens in general are hilarious to me.
Oh, I love them. I love them.
Me too, because they're so. Ugh. It's like everybody on YouTube.
Right?
Listen, I'm gonna have to tell you about my night last night, but um, I'm finally starting to feel like a human again. Um, and I said today, the last 24 hours, I have dealt with so many crazy people.
Really?
Um, it's yeah, it's been one thing
Through
after.
through YouTube stuff, obviously, yeah.
uh, Roundabout, yeah,
Right. Hmm.
but it's last night. I just went to bed.
Hmm.
I laid there
You
and
do
just watched the rats.
you do sound better. Your voice was
Yeah, it was bad. It's still it's not still not normal, but it's better than it was.
yeah, yeah.
And you said that you're surprised how many people are up. We're normally up.
I know, right? It just feels different for me because I actually slept too early, I guess, and I should have woken up at a normal time.
What
So
time do
I'm
you
kind of
get up?
I'm in the next day now. What's that?
What time do you normally get up?
Well, normally I would get up about 8 or 9, but I woke up about half 4 or 5, wide awake. Yeah.
Oh God, I do that too.
So are you going to cover that case tomorrow then? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm gonna do the I was gonna do the I don't. My goodness gracious, I was gonna do Gabby Petito tomorrow, but I'm doing it Friday because I'm waiting for um some documents to be emailed to me.
Ah, cool.
Yeah, I did a FOIA request for some stuff, and I'm waiting on those, and I probably won't get them until Friday morning. So I'm gonna
Yeah.
do it on Friday. Um, some of the new stuff because I want to make sure I have everything.
Like I was saying to you the other day, that's a case that I just didn't really pay attention to because I was off YouTube at the time. So it'd be cool for people like me just to get a, because I think you said you were going to go through the timeline.
Yeah, I'm gonna go from start to finish. From the time they went missing to yeah.
Did you watch any of the eye drop murder trial at all? No.
Um, no. My moms kept talking about it, but I never. It's like I said, I don't watch like a lot of people who are into true crime watch every case
Yeah,
that happens. I, I can't. It has to be something that
yeah. It
um
grabs you.
yeah, it has to be something I'm interested in or something that's different. I don't know how to explain it, but I don't. There's so many cases that happen and I don't know anything about them because I don't watch mainstream news.
Mm,
Um,
yeah.
so yeah.
Knit and Artisan says, is there any new news in the Petito case? You were
Mm,
mentioning the other day something about the
well,
attorney.
it's not really new news because we talked about it when the Gabby Petito case was happening. Um, but now that the official statements have been given by the parents for this lawsuit, now things are getting twisted, and now the media is running with, "Oh my gosh, they had an attorney ahead of time." Well, we already knew that.
Hmm.
Where do you think they got Bertolino? I mean, they said that back then that they had him,
Hmm.
from the time they knew he was coming home. So
Is there many people that think that there's a reasonable chance that he's still out there? You know
listen,
how they found the apparently found the teeth?
listen. I told you the other night. I would not be one slap little bit surprised if his old bald headed ass popped up somewhere.
That'd be crazy, wouldn't it? Wow.
Crazier things have happened.
Hmm. How about the Lori Vallow case? That's another one that it just passed me by, but I started catching up with recently.
I couldn't
She,
believe that
they are
crazy shit.
unbelievable, those two,
She's she's crazy as a damn run over bed bug, and
right?
I don't want. I never could get into that one either. She's the kind of person I just want to pinch her head off.
Did you did you ever there was an media interview with someone that was her close friend at one point that was a part of this strange religious cult thing, and it was a long interview, and just the way that she spoke about what happened there was really weird. There's so many,
They're all batshit crazy.
yeah. It was like she had no understanding or notion that those kids died. You know, it was just really weird the way she was, because uh, she was actually someone that went to law enforcement about her, right? So you'd expect her interview to sound way different than what it did.
I'm telling you, people involved in these cases are the way that they word things, the way that they talk about things, especially the
Mhm.
way that they speak about victims is like they're just off on a stroll instead of murdered.
Right? You know, and she was way too um
She was very
jaunty.
nonchalant.
Yeah, you know,
I
smiling away, and it's like
uh, and I was trying to think.
people are weird, right?
Weird doesn't even begin. Trying to think of who she reminded me of. There was somebody in another case that she reminded me of.
Brennan says she's in Arizona now. She is going to be indicted today for the murder of her husband Charles.
Uh-huh. I saw that.
That's the that's her ex-husband, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. Wow. I mean, the the scale of what they did is just unbelievable. And I assume you saw the footage when they went to her. Was it in Hawaii or somewhere?
Mm.
When she was at the swimming pool,
Yep.
and she put her book down, and you can just see in her face, oh dear, rumbled, and then Chad's sitting there like a plonker. Yeah, Helen Happy Thoughts follow this case really closely. I don't think there's anything about this case you don't know, Helen, right?
Yeah, I have to completely. I don't know much about it at all. Like I said, I've seen bits and pieces. Now, Gabby Petito, I could tell you anything you want to know in
Yeah.
my sleep, probably. I literally lived that.
So remember, I know next to nothing about this case, right? But if do you does anyone know what his motivation was to kill her? Was it
He was.
an act of passion, impulse?
He's crazy. He was abusive. He had been abusive.
Right.
I have all of the body cam footage, the footage of him and her at the grocery store, which is the last known footage of them together, and how he gets out of the van and slams the door and walks around the back. You can tell he's so pissed off about something. And then they go in the grocery store, and that's literally the last time that anybody sees her alive.
Wow. You have to assume that she was trying to break up with him, maybe.
I don't think so. I think
No?
that, I think they were just fighting. They fought all the time. And then after you go back and you look at the body cam footage, and you see the marks on her face, and oh,
Sounds like it could have been an act of impulse, passion then.
he was an abuser, Rabbit. You should know.
Really? I should know, exactly, yeah. Merv's told everyone. Sorry, I forgot for a minute there.
You should be giving me the lowdown about what to expect here.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Fern says Chad Daybell and her are totally bonkers.
I agree on that one.
Yeah, I was listening to some of the recorded phone conversation, actually with that woman that I was referring to that was interviewed, and it's wow. It's hard to believe there's people like that out there.
No, it's not for me because
Well,
I
yeah.
deal with it every day on here.
Is the volume okay, Nan? Can you guys hear us okay? Rosebud Rabbit, ask Natasha if there was any domestic violence calls between Gabby and him prior to their trip at the laundry's home.
Not that I've been able to find. I did a FOIA request for their address there and where they lived in New York and couldn't find anything.
Volume's good, okay.
Okay, I'm gonna get down because my throat's starting to, and I've got to go check on my rats.
Okay, thank you for coming up.
Yep. See you later.
See you later on. Yes, Enrisa, yeah. You're welcome. It's better now, okay. Yeah, Taylor Shabusiness. I watched the body cam of that. I know what happened. I heard the 911 call and her bizarre interview. One of them at least, and then she attacked her attorney in court, right? She is creepy, yeah. Very, very. Yeah, just like Larny says, everyone's welcome. We're talking about everything today. Yeah. Is she Wisconsin as well? Yeah, you're good, Sir Lisa. Sorry, guys, give me a sec. Hey, Carl, how are you? God, nothing. Hope he's okay now. Yeah, Jennifer, she cut him to pieces. Okay, Rosebud, it's televised tomorrow. Not sure of the time though. Anyone know? Do you know what? I might try and um see if I can stream that, guys. Yeah, Jennifer. Even in comparison to Letitia, she's seriously psycho. Okay, there's a good amount of people in here right now. You guys can help me out with my YouTube writer's block. Um, let's say for next time, is there any does anyone know of any interrogations that would like us to go over and discuss? A whole bunch of interrogations. But if you guys could let me know if there's any particular interrogations that you'd find interesting. Stick them in chat here, guys, and we might do that next time. Oh, who could forget Robert Durst? Wow. Russell Williams. Do you know, Helen? You read my mind. I was even thinking about going over that again um today. Stephen McDaniel. See, that one's kind of boring though because he literally doesn't speak, right? Stephanie Lazarus. Yeah, see, I've done that twice, that one. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it'll be on Court TV. Yeah, see, the thing with that one, Rosebud, is well, maybe I could finish transcribing that for later, and we could go over the eye drop interrogation. Seaver, there, that's a good shout, Jennifer. That's a good one. It's very funny, yeah. Of course you can, Rosebud. Do you have a link to that, Suzanne? It'll be fun to remind ourselves of Lazarus's crazy eyes and facial expressions. Hello.
Hello. Yeah, you got to listen to the interrogation that Jesse talks about.
Yeah.
Everything she says, she just lies. And the very first one, her mother is in there with her. And there's a couple of times during it that she tells her mother to either stop,
Mm.
kind of shuts her down.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if you saw some of the information about this letter
No.
that, okay, the letter was supposedly penned in cursive handwriting by the defendant during the trial, asking her quote unquote friend, who they're saying the name is Jessica, but I don't know who it is, um, telling her to get a tape recorder and use a voice over app to sound like the victim. She had a very raspy, kind of smoky. She was a
Mm.
kind of voice, and to admit that she was going to take her own life because she couldn't deal with the pain that she was going through.
Mm.
And then I told you in chat, she also told her to record saying that she actually killed her own mother, which is a complete and utter lie. And the fact that she did this in court, then threw her attorney under the bus and said because she's in custody, so anything that she mails out or sends out has to go through the county jail.
How
But
does she not know that? Like, that's so dumb.
right, the lawyer, she said, not that her lawyer, it was their idea, and that don't tell anyone, and the lawyer is the one that mailed the letter. Okay, so that's why these lawyers are withdrawing. And then the
Wow.
motion went through to withdraw, and Doro's like, no, we're not. We're going to go through the motion right before the sentencing. So they're all supposed to be in court regardless
Mm.
of what they want done. And I'm telling you, Judge Doro, she's going to hand all of them their ass tomorrow.
She's good, isn't she?
Oh, yes. This is going to be pretty dramatic, I think. But the fact that she thought that something like this wasn't going to get out, apparently the person who received the letter is the one that gave it to the prosecution.
Yeah, I was just about to ask that. It must have come from the recipient, right?
Right. And then the defendant, or, the murderer, Jesse, she says that the prosecution came up with this, that they're
Oh, for
doing,
God's sake.
honest to God, it can't get any better than this. I mean, this whole,
That is so utterly insane. I mean, it's the most, or it's one of the most obvious um, trials there's been. She's so clearly guilty, right? I don't think the prosecution would take risks like that when it's pretty much a shutout, this case,
well, they
you know?
lose their law license if they.
Right, there's that.
In fact, I spoke to someone today about that. The fact, if they can prove that that lawyer mailed that letter, not whether she knew what was in it or not, is in itself can be, they can be reprimanded for that, because they know that everything's supposed to go through the county jail, and this is
Mhm.
all to try to lengthen the time so she doesn't get sentenced, so she can stay at the county jail instead of going to state prison. Back to state prison. Let's talk about that. This gal has been in prison, state prison, before.
Has she?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Since 2005, she's been
Hmm.
committing fraud.
That's
And
the thing about
mhm,
this is, isn't it incredible what someone that has such an addiction, because it's obviously on a like she had some serious gambling issues, right?
right,
And
they said,
she
yeah,
um for someone to be capable of doing something like that, for those types of reasons, financial,
right.
essentially.
Well, if
It-
you look at it in a psychological way, I think the money was for her to have lots of friends and people think that she was this big deal, and she had to keep up that persona, and she would do
mm,
anything to continue that, people looking at her like, she had money. And I mean, she comes from, the south side of Milwaukee, and that's middle class blue collar workers.
mm.
They she her home wasn't, she didn't come from money or anything like that. And I just think that you're right. Once they get themselves into some sort of a, they just,
Desperate hole.
right, they just keep going down that road, and they keep digging the hole big deeper and deeper and deeper. But I mean, I looked at her rap sheet, and she's been in trouble quite a bit, and she's always writing letters to the judges. Okay.
Mm,
I don't know what these letters are. Probably help me, I won't ever do it again, cry me a
mm.
river kind of thing. But several times, that stuff didn't fly. And she served at least a year in state prison by the time before she was 25, I think. And she was on probation, and she uh, violated her probation by committing another crime, which got her in a mess of trouble. She had other things still pending prior to
This case happening.
this case. Yeah, there were still other things going on that she was going back and forth with the circuit court. So yeah,
Mm.
she's a bad apple, that one.
Oh yeah, she is. I mean, she is bad to the core.
Conniving.
Um, yeah.
uh, it's just, if you listen to the interrogation of the lies that she told and the
Mm,
way that she acted during court, like she was this meek, mild thing,
yeah.
person, you
She
know,
had a lot of tears, didn't she, during the
oh yeah,
trial?
I began to feel a little sorry for her, that she's in so much trouble, and maybe something else went on. Maybe somebody forced her to do it. I still think her mother had some involvement in it, and I still think they're gonna pop.
I've heard a lot of people say that.
Well, because she's got her signature all over stuff that coincide with the killer when it
With
comes.
in regards to the fraud.
Yes. And and when the victim passed away, the mother and the daughter were driving around in the victim's car. Right. The mother got a brand new television and some expensive watch. I mean, she knew her daughter didn't have any money. I mean, come on, her daughter lived with her.
Was she
It's
called as a witness at any point during the trial?
They did not. I think they did not allow it, and I
Right.
I question that because she could have been a very good witness for the defense
Hmm.
to try to, you know, protect her daughter in a way, but neither the prosecution or the defense called her. And I think in my thought that the DA's got plans for that mother.
I was just thinking, is
Oh,
that perhaps why she wasn't called, right? Because they're going to go for her next.
I told my husband, I said, when they got the verdict out and she was crying, and I looked, turned to my husband, I said, this isn't over yet. They're not done. These women are not, this woman is not going to go down without a fight. I mean, when she was in jail, she actually penned a new will and
Wow.
that I know that, I mean, the gall of this gal, who she must think everybody in the world is stupid. I mean, I
Mm.
when criminals go too far, they get very dumb, you know.
It's worth pointing out as well for anyone that's not aware of this case or the details of the case. The woman that died here, Jessie Kurzewski, had known her from when she was a kid. Like she was
Right,
essentially no different than an aunt to her. She herself described that many times, you know.
right.
Um, and they showed some photos of them together, you know, when she was in her, I think her early 20s.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when you would see her cry a lot, you know, when they were obviously, because they were obviously showing a lot of the autopsy pictures as well, right? We didn't see them, but she would um she would break down a
Yeah.
lot. And I don't think that was necessarily disingenuous. Like I said earlier, I don't think
Well,
I
I
don't
got
think she's a
I,
monster, right? But she's just incredibly bad,
right.
incredibly bad person.
And in the beginning, before the executor of her will, before it became Jesse, it was Jesse's mother.
Mm.
Okay, and according to Jesse's mother, Lennon, her name is Jennifer Flowers. According to her, she stated that the victim and her decided to give it to the kids because what if one of them died first and then they wouldn't know where Lynn's
Mhm.
money would go. I've always been just so curious about why was Lynn's money so important to all these people.
Hmm.
I mean, you say you're her friend, but you're thinking about her in that light. I have friends and I that might have money, and I don't think about, well, when they die, I hope they leave me something. Are you sure you leave me anything? I wouldn't even think of asking a question like that. And these people, it's like, go where the money is, I guess. I don't know. I mean, that was their thing, I guess. But no,
See, I think it's no different than in many ways to a real drug addiction. Because
right,
people that are properly addicted, morbidly addicted, will steal from their own mothers. They will do
right.
anything. And there's obviously a line there that some people cross when they feel like they have no alternative. And
Yeah,
she
somebody
must have
lost
had
their,
an addiction
yeah,
to
somebody
money.
lost life over it. No matter, what this woman, the victim, they tried to really, the defense really tried to play her as, having a bad reputation, her past. I think at one point during the trial, they had mentioned that the victim was in prison for a while. I think it was for a DUI or something. But yeah, there she is right there. I mean, if when I look at this picture, that young gal don't look too comfortable with that woman, does she?
She's got very uncomfortable posture on her there,
Yeah.
right?
And then
That's the woman that was killed, guys.
and
Next to
then
her.
another picture of the two of them together. I think it was at Jesse's another picture they were together.
Uh-huh.
Lynn's holding her, and it's like Jesse's like cringing almost. She's like leaning in, but not. It's just not the way you would hug a person you're supposed to love so much. You know,
Yeah.
it just amazes me the emotional aspects of all this. She really knows how to play the game. That's all I can say is she knows how to play the game, and that's like you said, that's a habitual person with tendencies of dependency on something. And in this thing, it was about money. It's
Yeah.
all,
Yeah. I
and
mean,
she found a victim. She found somebody she could take advantage of, and she went full board on it.
hmm
And thinking she was
do you
gonna be
know? Do you know this interview that you're mentioning with the police, and she was there with her mother?
Mhm.
I believe that was the last interview before she was actually arrested. Was there
Yes.
like, I'm working through that right now because it's very difficult to hear a lot of it, so I'm transcribing it. But was there any more interviews shown during the trial other than that one
It
that
was
we're
that.
talking about?
It was the one with her mother, and then um, I think there was it one more that they did with her when she was in custody. I think she came in one more time, and then I think that's when they arrested her, and then they do show her in an interview with the orange jumpsuit as well in handcuffs. So
Oh, okay.
yeah,
That'll be interesting to watch because I've not seen that one yet.
yeah, and really listen to the way she talks, how she double talks.
Yeah,
She slides
yeah,
over,
yeah,
like when somebody asks her a question, she'll say, well, no. She'll say no, flat
yeah,
out. Well, yes, and yes, then.
yeah.
And it's
I mean, yeah. I mean, this the interview that I watched, it's an absolute gold mine for anyone that's interested in body language and psychology.
yeah,
Um, a- and this is why I love interrogations because you very seldom have such information that someone is almost definitely lying. So to observe them in the process of trying to obscure details and double talk, like you say, that's so interesting. And it's also interesting to see the way that she controls her mother, like you're saying. She talks over her a lot, right?
yes, yes.
She, to me, she seems a little nervous about what her mother might say.
Right. Wants to make sure that she doesn't say anything, and she does all the talking, a good amount of the talking.
Yeah, yeah,
And her mother was supposed to be Lynn's best friend, but the
yeah.
daughter is doing all the talking. And what always amazes me how stupid these criminals are is they run their mouths with these cops, with these detectives, and they have no lawyer. They don't even ask for one.
Well, see, this is something that's been interesting for a while, the way, because there's a little subtle psychology going on there, whereby a lot of perpetrators feel that they will just draw more attention to themselves if they ask for a lawyer,
Yeah, they're
or if they,
admit guilt or something just because they have a lawyer.
yeah,
I think that's pretty much been ingrained in everyone's brain that, you get a lawyer, they're going to think you're guilty.
Yeah.
Man, you get a lawyer because everything you say is going to be used against you. And you need somebody there to tell you to shut up, So it's like,
Well, do we though? Because we would have nothing to watch on YouTube if they all called their lawyers and used their Sixth Amendment. So long may it continue that they keep
well, you
talking.
let the prosecution make their case. That's their job. You don't give them all the, you don't give them all the information. That's what the prosecution, if they've got a case, they'll get it done. But as a,
Hmm.
if as a defendant, if you're being accused of a crime, you know,
Hmm.
yes, in all things right, you should always tell the truth if you've done something wrong. That's my
Hmm.
belief. But that's not the way criminals think. And they think that they can outsmart these
Hmm.
detectives and outsmart the DA. And I haven't seen it happen yet. You
Yeah.
know, just bury themselves. And did the same thing, you know, the lying and the deceit. They had him pegged. He knew it was him, and they knew he was lying. And when they
Hmm.
showed, during the trials interview, huh, what
Hmm.
a joke. I mean,
Hmm.
you have to laugh at it because God, how stupid are you? It's like I just don't
Yeah.
don't get it. I don't know. I don't get it. But it'll be interesting to see what happens tomorrow. I think we may see a little bit of drama in the courtroom. It could be short
Hmm.
and sweet. Doro doesn't like to she likes to spell it all out in the
Mm.
legal sense, and I think that's good because that protects the whole trial in itself for when it comes to an appeal time. She, dots her I's and crosses all her T's up there, and she does a real good job. She ran for Supreme Court here, and she didn't get the nomination
Mm.
for Republican, but and I'm glad she didn't because we need her on that bench to take
Mm.
care of people like these kind of people. Supreme Court, they make a lot of rules and a lot of laws, but we need a good judge facing these criminals and saying, bye bye, you're going away.
Mm.
So I'm glad she's still doing what she's doing. She's
Yeah, she's good. Very good.
yeah, she's a light in a dark place. She really is. And
Hmm.
she lays it all flat out for anybody to understand it. And I'm proud that we have her here. And
Mm.
uh,
Did you watch the Letitia Stout trial?
yeah, that one bothered me a lot.
Yeah,
That that really bothered me a lot. I
in what
have
regard?
I have a grandson who's 8 years old,
Oh.
and there's a lot of animosity between his mom and the father, and I've seen some things that not that happened to the child, but just between the adults that can get really ugly. And the whole step parenting thing,
Hmm.
um, there was some, this his father's had some women involved in his life that were
Yeah.
not good mother material. So not get too far into it, but it bothered me because oh, to have something like that happen to that poor baby. I
I
just
know.
I just I just hope that
You
you know
can't unhear that video, can you? If you
no,
did hear it.
and I don't know why that woman is still alive. Honest to God, you wonder these people live forever. Never get a terminal illness. Living off jail acting like, they still got some kind of life. And to do something like that to an innocent child that cannot defend themselves, it just burns me. I mean, I want to just take a bat to people like that. I don't see any other way
Yeah.
to deal with it. And then they take
Every
advantage.
parent, it's every
Yeah,
parent's worst nightmare, isn't it?
it is.
Literally.
Protect your kids. You got to know what the hell's going on. You, you know, we, in our family, uh, we don't have, even if we don't have strangers watching our kids, you know?
Hmm.
Um, and when you marry somebody and they come into the family, we love you, but you're being watched, So it's like, because you're not from the immediate family, we
It's
don't,
natural instinct to
well,
be
yeah,
skeptical
you
or
don't know
critical.
people like you think you do sometimes, goes back to, like the Chris Watts business, and you just don't know a person. You think you know them and you don't. And my husband always says, "Oh, you don't trust anybody." There ain't nothing wrong with that. I mean,
Well, that is one of the problems of being interested in true crime and being on YouTube, I think, is that it can tilt your view a little bit in regards to humanity.
it,
Because
you are
it's,
correct on that. I've noticed that about myself just in the last,
yeah,
that my trust in people, I'm very more standoffish.
yeah.
Still a very talkative, open person,
Hmm.
uh, but I won't let you come into my life. And, like if somebody said to me, one of my friends, somebody I knew said, "You know what, I'll take care of you while you're sick." You don't think I'd be a little curious as to why?
Hmm.
I mean, maybe that's just because I've been burned a few times in my life. That could possibly be it. But I still have that, you have your guard up, and you should.
Mm. Mm.
Point, should, to protect yourself and your family. That's your job. So,
It is.
um, but yeah, I can't
Hey,
wait.
hey, hey, Jan. Hey, Tevi. Sorry, on you go.
Definitely look into that. Watch those interrogation on her, and you will see that. Wow, that's all I kept saying was wow.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
can't believe you just said that. Wow. So,
Hmm.
well,
And it's interesting as well from another point of view that I think the interviewer did a really good job of not making her too suspicious of just how much trouble she was in. Like
right,
she was already it's like Sarah Boone. They knew as soon as they seen the videos that she was going to be getting arrested after this interview.
right,
But and Jesse, just like Sarah, did not realize um during that interview. I
right.
don't know if she got arrested literally outside the door of that room, but I know she was arrested quickly after that because they already knew. They already knew because this was originally determined to be suicide
Right. And
initially.
a year, like about a year, almost a year went by.
A long time. And it was
And
only because of some family members and friends of Lynn that
and
started looking into things.
right, and the fact that, and the coroner's office, um
Well, I think the suspicion that was coming into law enforcement from these people, I suspect that caused those the medical side to look into it in more detail.
right, and because they didn't think the the people closest to Lynn said she would never take her own life and she would never leave her cats. And I
Mm.
think when the cats were euthanized, that's by Jesse, that's when a lot of people started questioning, like, what's going on. And then once the poison came back in the toxicology, which took a long time. Okay. Plus, their office was pretty backed up.
Mm.
Even the who was that woman from the coroner's office, the medical examiner even said that it took about a year to get all
Yep.
that in order.
Yep.
And, the defense was like, do you always take this long with all your cases? And, you can't rush this stuff,
Mm-hmm.
because mistakes are made. This woman is pretty thorough. And
Mm-hmm.
luckily, they did take their time
Mm-hmm.
and look back at that. And the fact that Lynn was hospitalized so many times before she died, and
Mm.
and the doctors didn't know what was wrong with her the whole time she was being slowly poisoned.
You can't help but think that that must have been happening, right? You
Absolutely.
know, prior to this.
And what was the final nail that Jesse thought, filling that water bottle up with 6 bottles of eye
Of
drop?
eye drops, of Visine. I mean, who would have thought?
What
Who would
made,
have thought?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what would you, what a horrible way to go.
I
After
mean,
the pain that woman must have been in,
yeah.
it just, it's just horrible. I mean, so
I mean, who would have even thought that anything in eye drops could be that toxic in concentration, even? You know, drops that you put into your eyes.
well, that's the difference between putting it in your eyes and getting it in your system. I mean,
Still, though, still, you
is
know?
yeah. I mean, what if you use it too much in your eyes? Can you poison yourself? No, they say you.
Right?
Um, but oh, the wonder she was sick. I mean, she had a lot of other things wrong with her, but the way that some of the things that they had described, what was going on with her, she didn't have like a, a deadly illness that she was, that the doctors said that she had. She had a lot of stuff going on, because
Mm,
she drank a lot in her life. She was a
right.
smoker. She had thyroid problems. These are all things that a lot of women her age
Mm. And she
go.
wasn't that old, was she?
No, she's 62 years old.
Right, yeah. That's young these days.
You better bet it is, because that's how old I am.
Right? Well,
I
it
mean,
is.
it would take an awful lot for me. I mean, if for me to be down and out the way they described her as being. I mean, to the point where she was going to go into a nursing home because they couldn't figure out what was wrong with her. Um, woman and the victim declined for it because she must have known, because she didn't know what was wrong with her. She wasn't going to go into a nursing home. She didn't know what was wrong. They had no, uh,
Hmm. Yeah,
fight.
I mean, the medical people that were looking at her when she came in, they couldn't really um put anything
And I
on it,
think,
right?
right, I think all the drugs she was taking was to relieve the pain that she was going through. I mean, she had that personality.
I
Um,
think.
I got a ailment here, so I take a pill for that. I got this hurts there, so now I'm going to take a pill for this. I mean, granted, she did take a lot of pills, but
Hmm.
there was a lot of other things that should have been a flag to the medical. Why didn't they test her for poisons? You know?
Well, when you think about it like that, how many other cases that have been ruled suicide,
Yeah,
have a more dark
yeah. Oh, I don't.
explanation that have just not, whereby there was just not enough attention communicated through law enforcement,
Right.
thereby why the coroner and the medical examiners wouldn't do such a thorough examination, right? I think that's probably
Yeah,
safe to say.
the young man that was her friend since he was a baby, she's known him. He was the one took his own money and got a private investigator to look into all this. And because there were lawyers that he went to that wouldn't even they wouldn't even listen, didn't even bother with him. They turned him away. And then he took his own money and he got an investigator to look into it. And once he got enough information, then he went to a lawyer, and that's when it started. And thank God he did that.
Good on him. And he testified for the prosecution as well.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. And you know, he was a young guy. She was an older woman. I mean, you can't expect him to be, you know, hanging out at her door every day. And, you know, they knew each other, you know, he knew her all his life, but he had a life too. He's a young guy, you know. He's not going to hang around with a 62-year-old woman all the time. He's got probably gals all over the city he hangs around with. But he loved her enough and cared about her enough that he didn't feel right about what happened. And when all those receipts, fake
Mm.
bills paid came out,
Yeah.
that, you know, that right there was, well, you can't go back now. You
So
can't.
she sold her house, right? And
Yes,
there was more than 130,000 in fraudulent checks written
right.
from Lynn to Jesse, right?
That's right. The kid got the boy Anthony got, I think his name is Anthony,
Mhm.
$13,000.
God. Yeah, and yeah, that's the other thing. She wrote herself into the will.
Yep.
Unbelievable. And she was having a yard sale essentially. She was selling all the
Yeah, she
items in the home.
sold all her stuff. If you go on her Facebook page, she's got pictures of Lynn's home on there after it's all cleaned up and ready to go for sale. Yeah. I mean, it's all still there, you know. And that poor guy that was dating her, oh, boy,
Yeah, he testified too. Yeah.
he had the wool pulled over his eyes. Holy moly.
Oh my God. One of the sickest things about it, about all this, is that she not only did this, but stole her story for herself by telling her boyfriend at the time that she had been poisoned, right?
Yes. Yes.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. I mean, she made a lot of mistakes along the way. Let's just put it that way.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, especially not realizing that someday this could all come out. This is all going to follow me, you know.
Yeah.
And he dropped her like a hot mess once she got arrested. She tried to tell
Yeah.
in that phone interview that she was
I know. She was
protected.
guilting him.
Yeah, what the hell was that? I was like, he had enough of her, man. He was like, we are
Hmm.
done. So, and I think the woman
Hey, Lynn.
that's always in the court was always in the courtroom, the elderly woman that,
Hmm.
if you notice during when if you watch the trial, there was
Yeah, at the back.
that's her. I think that's her grandmother. It's either
I was
grandmother
wondering.
or aunt. That's relation to the family. So, um, interesting family. I'll tell
Did
you.
her mother only come during the verdict, or did she come to the trial any other days?
She was at the trial towards the final days,
Right, okay.
and she sat in the back, way in the back, and there was never any, you know, conversation between, not even eye contact, from what I could see, from what I saw on the TV.
Mm,
Uh, yeah, not too many people were looking to talk to the mother either. She was kind of
yeah. I mean, to be
back.
honest, the way I was observing it, and it's only a gut judgment really, nothing else, because I've not seen the rest of the trial. But just from what I have seen of the trial in that interview that we're talking about,
Hmm.
I suspect that she had no idea, the mother.
You don't
But I could be wrong. Yeah, that's just my gut
know.
judgment on it.
You
you
could
know?
be right. I mean, some people will look at their children like,
Yeah.
they would never do anything like that. That whatever her daughter was telling her was the
Yeah.
truth. So it'll be interesting to see what happens tomorrow. I hope it goes through, and I hope they, regardless of all this mess that happened, I don't think it's going to make much difference. You're going to jail for the rest of your life, honey. So,
Mm. I'm glad you came in and told us this
yeah,
because I didn't realize that this was happening
I've been really
today for
stuck.
me.
I've been really watching it, and I've been waiting, for the sentencing because I really am eager to see what Doro says to her about
Yeah.
her crimes. But now this is just going to be an added bonus tomorrow. So
Yeah.
happens, and
Well,
just say, you know what, we're not doing any of that. We're here for one reason today, and that's
hmm.
it. The rest we'll take care of another day. So we'll
Mhm.
see what happens. Maybe she'll be sitting there all by herself and
Mm.
go sovereign for the sentencing.
Michael Sovereign.
Yeah, I wonder if she's going to say anything, if she's going to make a statement.
I
The
know, right?
defendant. That
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll just hear that
I'm
to hear what
still,
she's got. She's
that will be interesting. I'm still
yeah,
shocked that Letitia didn't say anything. That
yeah.
that surprised me.
Oh, thank God for that.
I
Ugh,
know.
honestly, I don't know if I could have handled that. That was a terrible, terrible man.
Yeah, I mean that
I've I listened
that
to her.
trial was something else.
Yeah, her
Hmm?
jail recording, phone calls.
I've not
Oh
actually
my
heard them
God,
yet. I know
she's
they're out there. I've not heard them though.
like oblivious to why she's there. Really, if you think about it, it's like she's, what are you staying at the, Ramada down the street? I mean, she's nuts.
Yeah.
That one's nuts. That's
Oh yeah, she
nuts.
decided she was
There's no doubt about.
gonna go kosher.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, anything. It's just like Daryl always having to be in the having the medical people. He's always got pains and he's got to be down in the infirmary,
Hmm.
driving those nurses nuts down there. These people are crazy. How do
Hmm.
you get to this point? I don't know. I've never known a person in my life, any of these people. Never. And I don't wish to know them either. The reason
Well,
for that. So
see that's one of the things I always remember. Most people are okay. It's hard to
it,
believe that sometimes when you're into true crime, but
it is, and you're
yeah.
right, because it's a small percentage of the population that end up like that. And all in all, humans are good. Really, they are. Most
It
are good. So,
it is great to hear Rosebud on panel, Helen, isn't it? Yeah. I'm
oh,
glad
thank
you'd
you. Thank you. Yeah, thanks for
yeah, I'm
having me
glad
up.
you'd come
I,
up.
I love, well, I love your lives and I look forward to many more. And
Oh, there
keep
will
up
be,
the
there
good.
will be.
Okay, I'm going to get going. I've got some chores I got to do. I forgot last night was St. Nick night. So I got to do
Oh,
that tonight.
okay.
I know.
Well,
I'm a
keep an eye out.
bad
Keep
mom.
an eye out later, Rosebud. Keep an eye out later
All
because
right.
I may just stream that
Oh,
sentencing
I will.
actually, and I'll put out some videos
I'll,
on this case as well soon. So look out for that.
okay. All right. Well, for having me up.
You're welcome. Thanks for coming up, Rosebud.
Okay. Bye now. Good night.
Talk to you again. Bye now.
Oh, thanks.
I was laughing at the eye comment, the eye opening. Love it. And then Helen talking about some urban myth about an alcoholic that would pour the vodka into their eyeball because it would go into their bloodstream quicker or go into their system quicker. Love it. I'm not too sure, Jennifer, I'll tell you what, I'll check after this and I'll put a community post up there. St. Nicholas night. I don't really know, to be honest. Oh, Brennan, I meant to ask Rosebud about that. I seen your comment. Didn't they do a handwriting comparison of the signatures on the checks? I don't remember whose signature it matched. Was it Jess's? Well, if you're still in here, Rosebud, in chat. 3 pints of vodka every night. Wow. I don't think Rosebud does have a channel. I don't think so. What I'll do is just show you guys a couple of videos here for anyone that hasn't been following this, just to give you a summary. So there's a couple of got a few news reports and I'll let you guys hear the opening statement or summary of it anyway.
In Waukesha County, where investigators say a woman was poisoned with eye drops. Mary Jo Ola live outside the Waukesha County Courthouse, where the defendant made her initial appearance. Mary Jo.
Carol, this court appearance comes nearly 3 years after the unidentified victim died in Pewaukee. The criminal complaint details a web of stories and witness accounts that investigators say show what really happened.
37-year-old Jesse Kirkzuski appeared in Waukesha County Court Monday facing 3 charges, including first-degree intentional homicide.
The state believes this defendant has evidenced her capacity to take advantage of at-risk individuals and poses a risk to the public, both through her financial victimization and ultimately violent behavior toward victim A in this case.
According to a criminal complaint on October 3rd, 2018, Kirkzuski called law enforcement to a home on Meadowgrass Circle in Pewaukee, saying her friend was.
Now to what?
A deputy found a woman with a large amount of crushed medication on her chest and on a nearby plate, surrounded with a large amount of prescription meds. Initially, investigators believed it was a drug overdose.
The complaint says Kirkzuski told investigators she had been taking care of the woman and that she was acting odd leading up to her death. Witnesses, people who knew the victim, told law enforcement things weren't adding up and they had concerns about the validity of the victim, leaving her estate to Kirkzuski, who has a history of forgery and fraud.
In January of 2019, the medical examiner said a lethal dose of tetrahydrozoline, the main ingredient in eye drops, was found in the victim's blood, changing the cause of death to homicide. Months later, Kirkzuski told investigators she brought the victim a water bottle filled with 6 bottles of Visine, claiming she was helping the victim do what she wanted and taking her own life.
With these charges, which carries a lifetime penalty of a lifetime sentence, there is a huge exposure here and therefore a flight risk.
Now, detectives also say more than $130,000 was fraudulently transferred to Kirkzuski from the victim by check. The commissioner here today maintained Kirkzuski's $1 million bail. She's due back in court here in Waukesha County on June 25th. Mary Jo Ola, TMJ4 News.
Yeah, you can hold me to it, Helen. Although I can't promise anything. So this is a summary of the first day of trial. I think you'll hear some of the prosecution's opening statement.
The eye drops murder trial resumes in our next hour. Defendant Jesse Kirkzuski stands accused of poisoning her friend and stealing nearly $300,000 from her account. But the defense team claims that Lynn Hernan's death wasn't murder. Rather, they say it was suicide. The case kicked off Tuesday with opening statements.
This is a case of murder, greed, and lies. Lynn Hernan became worth more dead than alive to Jesse Krzyzewski. She finally gave that water bottle, knowing it had, in the defendant's estimation, 6 bottles of Izine to Lynn Hernan, knowing it could kill her.
I want you to look at her. She's presumed innocent. And don't ever let that thought leave your mind, because she wants to kill herself. She wants to die. Suicide doesn't make sense. Never in her wildest dream would she ever think Jesse would get arrested for a suicide that Lynn committed. Jesse's innocent.
All right, so did either side tip the scales of justice in their favor on day number 1? I want to bring in our guest still with me, criminal defense attorney and former prosecutor Franz Borchardt and criminal defense attorney Greg Isaacs. These opening statements, I'm really anxious to get your thoughts on what you thought, honestly, objectively, if either side tipped the scales, yes or no, Franz. I can tell by the look of your face we might be thinking the same thing here. Let me start with you, please.
So there's a scene in a famous movie where Marilyn Monroe's skirt is blown up by air underneath a grate, right? Neither of these opening statements blew my skirt up, Julie. Neither of them. The prosecution's opening statement, I felt like he didn't really buy what he was saying. Like, it was almost like he wasn't really invested. And look, I'm sorry, if you're going to tell them to look at your client, have her make a better face than what she just made, please. So no, the answer for me is no. I don't think they tipped the scales, and I think both sides missed an opportunity, Julie.
Yes, I'm with you. I found them to be very underwhelming. To say the least. So the scales for me just stayed put. Didn't budge at all. Greg Isaacs, good to see you, my friend. Your take on these opening statements, please.
Wow, the scales of justice did not move, Julie. I thought they were incredibly flat, almost like neither side believed in what they were saying. When you talk about primacy and recency, whether the opening statement's most important, the closing statement, these lawyers just seem like they were going through the motions. But, we all know courtroom is theater. And, it's always important to make sure your client looks like the role that you're trying to present to the jury. And this is, in this case, a compassionate caregiver that's falsely accused of embezzling, stealing money, and first-degree murder. She looked like a cat on a hot tin roof. The affect was driving me crazy. I was like, what, please stay still and look at the jury. Yeah, I mean, she was twerking, she was tweaking. I sense no connection with the lawyers, and I don't know what that behavior was at counsel table for the defendant.
No, it was terrible. It was terrible. The faces, you both are spot on. Thank you for your honesty. That's what we do on this show. We tell it like it is. If anybody happened to miss those opening statements, we got a couple more little short clips. We won't put you through too much, but take a look at one more clip from the state and one more from the defense.
We have roughly $50,000 in cash withdrawals. We have this sort of bogus loan fund that she takes for herself out of the estate, never paying anything back. And we have a number of checks again, written to either the defendant's own credit cards, to her mother's apartment rent, or just to cash for herself, to the tune of almost $87,000 out of the estate.
They're saying that Jesse set this up. Remember when she was officers arrived on the scene? Do you think this was a suicide? Do you think Jesse was jumping up and down? Yes. It's a suicide. You know what she said? She goes, I don't know. Jesse was being honest. I don't know. And you think if she would have set it up, and according to them, the Visine is in that water bottle, why would she leave it there at the scene with her fingerprints all over it?
To both of your points, how could they expect the jury to buy what they're selling? when the arguments are so lackluster, and really the stories, I should say, because opening statements aren't arguments, but you both know, the seasoned trial attorneys are going to get some argument in there, in a way that doesn't draw an objection. My goodness. Okay, so they have a day to regroup. They can wipe the slate clean. Today is a brand new day. Looking back, and I'm sure you both do this in trial, we always, I think we're hardest on ourselves at trial, and we can look back and say, okay, I could have done this differently or that differently. How would you regroup today? Franz Borghardt, walk us through what you'd do if you were both of those sides, respectively, please.
So if I'm the defense, I've got to develop a theory of innocence that pertains to the money, Julie. That is, to me, the biggest issue the defense has, right? So a little bit more loving, a little bit more caring, have a conversation with my client about, hey, look, I don't know what innocence looks like, but you need to look a little bit more like it. Prosecution, again, I want the prosecution to care about this victim, because right now my sense is he's going through the motions, right? And maybe this is a slam dunk case for him, and he thinks that that's okay. But if I'm regrouping as a prosecutor, I got to show a little bit more heart. I got to show a little bit more compassion, and I got to humanize this victim to make her look like not somebody that committed suicide, but somebody that was murdered.
Yes, bring her to life. Yes, Franz. Greg Isaac, same question to you, please. What should both of these sides be doing right now as they're getting ready to go back into court?
Well, I would have my staff look at the commentary on court TV, which sometimes during a trial is very insightful.
Counselor.
Yeah, I kind of slowed down a cross-examination in one trial, thanks to John Q. Public. But go back to the beginning, the basics, and look at your themes. Look at what you're trying to portray. A caregiver, compassion, somebody that is empathetic to this elderly person, and paint that picture for the jury in your crosses. Go back to the basics. But, I don't know that there is a cogent theme to explain it. It should be pretty simple. You have somebody elderly, or maybe not as elderly, but you got somebody that needed a caregiver that was suicidal. You've got somebody that was there for him. Paint that picture.
Well said, gentlemen. Well said. Franz Borghardt, we've got to say goodbye, and a big thank you to you for lending us all of your insight this morning on opening statements. Greg Isaacs, you're going to stay with us as we're going to head on into Court TV Live. So up next, folks, we're going to go live to Florida for today's testimony in the Take Care of Maya civil trial. Also, we're getting ready for day number 2 of testimony in the eye drops murder trial that we were just talking about in Wisconsin. Stay with us.
Okay, so that's a good summary for you guys that haven't watched this trial. And as Rosebud was saying, the sentencing is later today, so I might end up streaming that. But I'm going to be putting out some videos on this soon. So I hate to draw to a close the hangover advice and the fun with the puns. If only we could all crawl to the Munger, as Larney says, for some salmon at 4 AM in the morning after a night out on town. Live and learn. Fun puns, indeed. Who's all having salmon at the weekend? You know what's happening. All right, thanks as always, everyone. Thanks to Natasha and Rosebud for coming up. It's always really appreciated, and you guys in chat. And BBT, stop talking bollocks and let me know where I apparently told people about your email. That would be interesting for me to know. All right, guys, good night. or good morning, and I shall talk to you soon. Take care.